Hello and welcome to our latest unboxing video. I'm Eliza. I'm here at the Hatfield Public Library with a box of kids books. I know we kind of just had a box of kids books, but now we have more kids books, which you never have too many, and I'm super excited. As I like to say, it is book season, so we have a lot of all kinds of books coming in. And it looks like on the top we have a chapter book, Cuba in My Pocket by Adrian Cuevas. And I've heard really sweet things about this one. It's actually, I think, based on the story of her own grandfather, and it's after the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961. 12-year-old Kumba's family sends him to live in Florida alone because they don't want him to be conscripted as a soldier. And so it's about him missing his family and trying to learn to live in the United States. Oh, it says he misses the sound of his father's clarinet. It sounds so touching. Also super interesting historical period. I love that it's based on her own family, roughly. This next one is called The Beatrice Prophecy by Kate DiCamillo, illustrated by Sophie Blackhall. And this looks historical. I love these end papers, very beautiful. So it says, wow. Okay. This is maybe not what I expected. I'm just going to read it. It says, there's one creature that the monks of the Chronicles of Sorrowing fear above all others. Answalika, the goat. The monks fear her sharp teeth and her hard head and her wily ways, and so imagine Brother Edict's terror when he goes to feed Answalika one morning and finds a child in the pen with the demon goat. Says the child only remembers her name. That is interesting. I didn't realize at first it was an actual goat. I thought maybe it was like a mythical goat, but I guess they have a goat that they're scared of, but they feed the goat, and then the goat somehow manifests a child. That's a totally new premise for a book, and I'm very intrigued. This is Final Season by Tim Green, and this is a football book about a kid from a very football-oriented family, and then his dad gets ALS. Pony by R.J. Palacio. Wonder by the same author was one of the most recent books, one of the most popular books in recent times, and so I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in this one. My understanding is it's about a 12-year-old kid who has a ghost best friend, and then his dad gets taken away mysteriously, and he goes on a journey to try to find him with a pony that shows up, presumably the pony on the cover. And I thought it was historical, but it turns out, oh look, there's even some pictures. I thought it was historical, but I think it's like set in a sort of fictional historical setting, and just gotten really good reviews. Definitely a very different feel. Born Behind Bars. This is about a kid in India who lives in jail with his mom. She's in jail for a crime she didn't commit, and then he reaches a certain age, and they're like, oh, you're too old to stay in the jail, and then they just kick him out, and he goes to live on the street, which is just heartbreaking. Like, it's heartbreaking to think of him being in prison, and then it's really heartbreaking to think of the prison just kicking him out and his mom still being there and not able to help him. The whole story sounds just very, very powerful. This is called Room to Dream, which is in the Front Desk series. We have one of the earlier books in this series. Pretty sure it's about a girl who her family maybe runs a hotel and she works at the front desk, but in this one it says that they get to go on their dream vacation to China. Another chapter book. I think we have a few more chapter books, and then we're going to do picture books. This one's called A Soft Place to Land. I really like this downward perspective on the cover. And this is about a girl who's always lived in a house, and then her dad loses his job, and they end up living in a really tiny apartment, and their parents are arguing. And it's just sort of her about adjusting to these changes in her life, and then also making new friends. This one, let's see. This one is called Amira and Hasma. So it's about a brother and sister, and this is interesting. So it says there's a rare super blue blood moon eclipse. I'm not sure if that's like a real thing or a made up thing. And they are on in an exhibit on medieval Islamic astronomy. And okay, this is where we get to it. They accidentally open a box with a jinn in it. And it's fine. Turns out they have a role to play in an ancient prophecy. Okay, board books, yay! So cute. So we have this one called Hooray for Snow Days. I love snow days. I really love snow days. I love going outside in the snow with my kids. And then how'd I get off? Here we go. And then I love just like hanging out in front of the fire. And I really love not having to drive places. The only problem with a snow day is if you have to leave the house, because then you have to drive your car, and that's not so fun. But luckily most kids hopefully don't have to worry about that. And then this one is called Hello Little Fish, a mirror book by Lucy Cousins. I love when mirrors are in books. That's just like a very sweet interactive element. And I really like the fish pictures. It's got almost like a little low-key Dr. Seuss thing going on here. And, and then at the very end, mirror. This is just like a little book. It's not it is a board book, and it's called Dear Santa. And it has, one of my favorite things in books is like interactive letters that you can pull out and you can read. Joy to the squirrel, you can read the letters. I know sometimes it can be a little tricky if you have young kids and they're pulling a little too hard, but don't worry. We're a very forgiving library. And, I think as long as it holds up long enough for, some families to get to enjoy it, that's the important thing. Ooh, look, this mouse got a bunch of cheese for Christmas, which I would be open to that. Hugs. No, Kisses Head to Toe by Karen Katz. And look, another, this is Mirror and Lift the Flap all in one book. Then you kiss the baby's toes. Looks so sweet. Then go to the front and kiss the baby's nose. Oh, that looks like another fun one to read with kids. Okay, I have, this I think is actually a mistake. So I was just trying to make sure I had all of the books in the Babysitter's Little Sister graphic novel series, and I think that I got the paperback of the original Babysitter's Little Sister book. But you know what? That's awesome, because I really hope someone who maybe is into the graphic novel series or is into the regular Babysitters Club, I think they could totally pick this up and enjoy it. Or maybe someone who likes the graphic novels and wants to try the chapter books, this would be a really good place to start. Babysitters Clubs, even though there's some like overarching plot things, you could definitely just pick up one and read them out of order. Okay, here we are with our first picture book, and it's a good one to start with. It's called Beautifully Me by Nabila Noor, illustrated by Nabi H. Ali. And this is about a Bangladeshi American girl who's getting ready for her first day of school, but then she starts to feel self-conscious about her body has to it sounds like she has to sort of advocate for herself. She definitely seems very beautiful, and maybe people just need to understand that. So I love the illustrations on this. Very like a nice mix of like very big and close up, but also colorful. We got a Pinkalicious book, Treasuretastic. It's an I Can Read book. These are really fun. These just zany books, perfect for kids. I find they work really well as read-alouds and for kids learning to read. Exactly, I could say exactly the same thing about these. Good as a read-aloud, good for kids learning to read. This is Pete the Cat, Making New Friends. New England, 50 Hikes with Kids. I like that this has a very like thick, sturdy cover, so good if you're taking it out into the wild. It says it has scavenger hunts along the way. Looks like a lot of beautiful places around New England, a lot of maps, a lot of photos. Very fun, very nice. I really like how this seems very clearly organized, which is nice. Let's see. Just got a few more. This is a graphic novel, Marie Curie, Quest for Light. And that's, I think, a biography of her and her life and her scientific achievements. Another easy reader, Thunder and Cluck. This is a new series, ready to read graphics. This, for kids who really want to read graphic novels and are still, honing their reading skills, I think this is like a very friendly way to start out, very engaging. 3 more picture books. Can I get both of these in the screen? There we go. Okay, Bear is a Bear by Jonathan Stutzman and illustrated by Dan Santat, who's one of our favorite illustrators here at this library. I love that the giant bear is reading Little Women, and then the girl is drawing pictures. I just love these illustrations so much. So it sounds like it's about the friendship between a bear and a girl. And oh, look, it says Bear is a scientist, Bear is a dreamer. I wonder if every page is Bear is something. So that's interesting. Sometimes when I pile the books really high next to the laptop, they all tip over, but I'm going to keep them safe. Moth and Butterfly, ta-da! Written by Des Petty and illustrated by Anna Aranda. I feel like at one point in my life I knew the difference between a moth and a butterfly. I've maybe forgotten, but I bet this book explains it to you. It says the things that are the same, the things that are different. Very fun, colorful illustrations. I like that they're saying happy metamorphosis to each other. You know what happened with my pile is I put all the chapter books and board books on the bottom, and now I'm putting the picture books on top. And not good engineering there. Luckily, this is the last book, Looking for a Jumbie. It's written by Tracey Baptiste and illustrated by Amber Wren. And it's got a little bit of like a creepy cover, but like maybe I think in not like a super scary way, in like a fun scary way with these shadows here and the girl. But she doesn't really look that scared because she's got a smile on her face. So Jumbies. So Mama says that they exist only in stories, but Naya decides that she is going to find one for herself. She's going out on an adventure. Oh, interesting. Cool. That's it. That's my big box and that's my my empty box and my big pile of books, which you can't see, but I'm going to keep one hand on it to keep it from falling, and I will be back with more.